She walked into a restaurant alone. As she appeared and approached the counter, she felt their leering. 3 grown men, about the age of her father. One nudges the other and exclaims, "Will you look at the legs on that girl?" They all chuckle. The thing is, she's not there to be their fodder. She came for a meal. She's wearing a modest sundress. She's here now, but she doesn't want to be. She's been surveyed, discussed, and reduced to their commentary. Her name is Heather. Her freshman year at college, she was raped a week before her 19th birthday. She'd always been vocal, loud, and unapologetic about her feelings and thoughts. This silenced her. She struggled to grapple with the violence that had been committed against her body and her person. Her body was no longer her own. Her name is Morgan. And I wonder, how many of you know a Heather or a Morgan? When I've told this story before, almost every woman in the room nods their head, raises their hand, and thinks of her own experiences. That emotion that you felt hearing these stories and considering your own is powerful. Those little gut punches have the power to change hearts and minds, to start conversations, and to empower. Stories have been used throughout humanity and time. Stories have helped us understand each other, social norms, and how to act. Through story, we understand how others respond and learn how we should respond. Storytelling is the foundation of the Communication Leadership Program and likely why you're here today. But in many ways, our communities have moved away from stories and focused on data, from an individual to a they. But stories can give meaning to data. It can connect and ground the information. Stories can make issues real and turn they into our neighbor. Gwen Morrison found in her research that stronger emotional connections translate into action. The stronger the emotion, the greater the action. Consider the brands that have harnessed emotion. They've likely developed a connection with you and built your trust and loyalty. So what better way to engage emotion than with story? So this had me wondering, what if we could move from fact versus emotion to fact and emotion? And this is the question I focused on last quarter in Associate Director Akin Yassin's class. I, along with my classmates, explored how ideas spread. And while I explored how narrative plays a role in inspiring action, my classmates delved into building engaging employee communities, helping elite female runners deal with eating disorders through community support, and how to better educate people about cancer. Throughout the quarter, we researched, evaluated, and tested various methods of presenting ideas. We didn't always agree, which led to some interesting conversations, but we created something that we are proud of, and that's I.D.E.A.S. Inspire-Develop-Engage-Amplify-Space. This I.D.E.A.S is focused on cultivating and amplifying topics impacting our communities and networks today. The speakers will share innovative ideas and strategies that will shape the future, engage audiences, and provide actionable outcomes that build connection and influence change. Each speaker is allotted 8 minutes. We provided suggestions on format, structure, context. We gave them the option that they could choose to use slides, but it was not required. For those that chose to incorporate slides, we emphasized their purpose to be additive or clarifying points and to use them with caution. Our goal was to transform the typical speaker event into something meaningful, actionable, and less predictable. Many have embraced the challenge of no slides. The topics are impacting our communities and networks now. Each speaker will leave you with ideas to contemplate, but also actionable ways you can take their lessons and apply them yourself. Rather than a one-sided experience, we're providing the space afterward to engage with each other and further develop by learning through discussion and conversation. Today's ideas presenters include Comlead faculties and speakers, as already mentioned. But before I introduce our first speaker, I want to return to those two stories I shared earlier. By sharing those stories, those two women gained new strength. Heather, her tone changed, and she said, "We promote what we permit." So she stopped permitting and created an online women's support group. And Morgan, she found her voice. She was no longer silenced and spoke out in her community and on campus. And I learned that if you want your story to transform into action, you simply need to ask specifically. So I ask if this meant something to you to share those stories with a friend.